So I'm sure you guys will notice that Miss Debbie here has a bald spot on her butt, right? So that is because of her adaptations. She has these little hairs on her abdomen called urticating hairs. And what she does is when she feels scared or threatened, she will take one of her back legs and kick those hairs off. So when a predator is going up behind her and those hairs get in their eyes, it would hurt. So that gives her a perfect opportunity to run away. That was a wonderful question. Good job. So in her little habitat, she has to adapt to living in harsh environments, right? The desert's really hot in the summer, really cold in the winter. And so she has to make changes for surviving in this habitat. One of those changes that she does is during the summer when it's really hot outside, she won't really go out all day to look for food. She will go and hide for most of the day, but come out in the early hours of the morning and the very late hours in the day when it's really cool. Another way that she will adapt to living in this desert is this brownish coloring. Can anyone think of what the adaptation is with this brownish coloring that might help her survive? What do we have in our chat boxes?
All right, it looks like friends are still typing, Explorer Krysan.
Awesome.
Oh, excellent. We have Kelly and we have Jay who are agreeing that camouflage.
Camouflage, perfect.
Tarantula.
You guys are 100% correct. It is camouflage. That helps her blend into her environment so that predators don't see her. So I'm going to go ahead and put Miss Debbie back, and we're going to explore our other little critter here. So let me get her right back in here. And sound effects are definitely necessary for things like this. All right. So next we have our leopard gecko, who is a vertebrate. Now there are a whole bunch of different types of invertebrates in the world. Dogs, cats, horses, humans, so many things have backbones. But this little lady here, yes, we have a question.
Excellent. So Amazing Brunelli is asking, is that a salamander? And I know that you just said that it was a gecko, but what is the difference between a salamander and a gecko?
So that has more to do with the difference of their habitats. Salamanders live semi-aquatic lives, but leopard geckos are land animals. So she is actually another desert animal. She comes from the deserts of like Pakistan, Iran, that whole area there. So she would not actually really know a whole bunch of water. But I definitely agree with you. I could see how she looks just like a salamander because they do have a very similar shape. But this is our leopard gecko. And she gets her name from all these wonderful little spots. Why do you think she has all these wonderful little spots? Where are you going?
That's a great question. What do you think, friends? Use that chat box. Why do you think she has so many spots? Ah, excellent. Kelly is saying to hide.
Yes, exactly.
Wonderful.
It's another type of camouflage. So with her, the desert she lives in is not the same as the desert tarantula's home. They do have different environments. She tends to live in a rockier sort of desert. And so the pattern on here, and even these tiny little bumps, I don't know if you guys can see them, that helps her outline be broken up when she's against those rocks, so that way predators don't see her, okay? So she is considered an insectivore, which means she eats bugs. Our desert tarantula also eats bugs. Bugs make up almost the whole world. There are so many bugs, but we will talk about that next week. This little lady too also has certain body parts. You'll notice she's got a head. She's got an abdomen down here. She doesn't want me to show you her belly. See, she's got an abdomen right there. And she has these forelegs. She also has this very thick tail. Now, this tail here actually stores fats for when there's no food available in the desert. So do you think she's holding on to a lot of fat there, guys? Do you think she needs to worry about no food? Yes.
Explore Krysan, we have an observation.
Awesome.
I love that Haley talked about how the leopard gecko is able to blend in with the spots.
Yes.
And then also another friend is talking about its nails and how sharp they are.
That's a wonderful observation. So this one has to do with her being able to hold on to things. You'll notice she's using that to grab onto my hands. They don't hurt. They're not that sharp, but they definitely help her climb. Now, this is a little bit of a difference between her and most other types of geckos, because most other geckos will have tiny little hairs on the bottom of their feet that help them climb, like walls and ceilings and stuff, but she doesn't have those. All she has are these little nails to help her climb. So that was a good observation. I love it. Does anyone else have any other questions at the moment?
Go ahead and fill up that chat box, friends. Oh, that's an interesting question.
What's the question?
Jay is asking, do geckos drop their tail?
Oh, they definitely can. So most lizards will drop their tail if they feel threatened. But when it grows back, it will never grow to this beautiful point that we've got here. So you can tell that she has never dropped her tail. But there are definitely lizards that will. And so then it'll kind of just end up being like this little stump that keeps growing every time they shed their skin. An interesting sort of comparison, thank you for bringing it up, is our desert tarantula will also have to shed to grow, but we call that molting for her, okay? So Orange, I'm gonna put you back in here for a second. So if you guys can see kind of this little belly button area right on the cephalothorax, that's actually where she would come out of her new skin. So in order for her to grow and get bigger, she has to literally shed off her entire body. It's really amazing. What happens is they usually turn upside down and just push the old body off.
Excellent.
So if she loses a leg, she can actually regrow it during that process before anyone asks.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. Now we have Kelly asking, just for some clarification on when that tail drops off, does it grow back?
It will grow back, yes. It just won't grow back as pretty as it was before. There are definitely animals out there with some slight regenerative properties, and lizards are some, arachnids are definitely some. We have another question.
Regina is asking, do they lose their teeth?
You know what? I don't recall her having teeth because I don't think she does. Can I see? Can I see? She's like, no. Can I see? I don't believe she has teeth. What she tends to do is just kind of chomp on things. And one of the reasons I don't believe she has teeth, I would have to clarify, is because she has bitten me before and I would never know if I was not looking at her.
Excellent. And Melissa is asking, for the tarantula, how sharp are the fangs?
The fangs will definitely penetrate your skin if she were to bite you. It would not be very fun. She does have venom. She is one of the few venomous things that we have in the museum. So, look, here we go. See, these are her fangs right here. So, if those were to pierce your skin, it would not feel good. But even though she is venomous, there are things that I am not concerned about. I'm not really concerned about her injecting me with venom because most venomous animals don't like using their venom for things other than food. and I am way too big for her to eat. If she did use her venom, I'm not allergic to bees, so it would not really affect me. If you guys are allergic to bees, definitely don't get bit by them. But it's really hard to get bit by one of these. Like I said, they really just want to run away from you, okay? So the first defense that they will go through is kicking off those urticating hairs. Then after that, they'll kind of rear up and show you those fangs. So if you're not paying attention to the signs that they're giving you, then yes, you might get bit. Yes.
Jay wants to know, do tarantulas have teeth?
They have the 2 fangs, but they don't have teeth.
Excellent. And Brunelli would like to know, would getting stung by a tarantula hurt like a camel spider?
No, it would actually be very different. That is a very specific question. I love it. So camel spiders are part of the same family as tarantulas, but there are some differences between them. One of the big differences has to do with the venom part, okay? So camel spiders do not have venom. When they bite you, they're actually kind of grinding on you, and let's see if I can get my fingers in here real quick, because their biting for camel spiders is a lot like this, okay? With tarantulas, it's poke. And with the tarantulas, there will be a burn because of the venom if they are injecting you with it. With camel spiders, it is just pain.
We have an excellent question bouncing off of that is, what are camel spiders?
Camel spiders look like nightmares, but they're fairly harmless. I wish, oh, actually, if people don't mind, I can pull up a picture of one from Google. So they look like a cross between a spider and a scorpion. Mm-hmm. And like I said, they kind of look like nightmares. They can be found in the Mojave Desert. They can be found in lots of different deserts, including parts of the Middle East. And they're kind of known for being, we'll say, aggressive, but they're not really aggressive. When people say that they're aggressive, it's because they say that the camel spiders are chasing them or running after them, when in reality, the camel spiders are looking for shade. They don't like extreme heat. They don't like extreme cold. I don't know why they live in deserts with that, but it's true.
We have another question from Regina. Do spiders live in groups?
Not typically, no. Most of the time they are solitary. That's a wonderful question. By the way, I do have this picture from Live Science on a camel spider if you guys want to see it real quick.
Here we go. Oh, there we go. Interesting.
Like I said, it kind of looks like a nightmare, but honestly, it's pretty docile. You can actually handle them. I never suggest handling wild animals, though, even if they are fairly docile, which means fairly friendly, just because we don't want to really mess with our little friends in nature.
And what is your favorite fact about the critters that we have out today?
Me or them?
You.
Me? Ooh. I don't really know. I just love all the facts. I know that's a terrible thing. It probably has to do with her adaptation of kicking the hairs off. Just because I know that if I see a spider like this, that if she starts kicking those hairs, that means for me to leave. And it's a wonderful sort of statement for an animal to tell a person, especially, hey, I don't like this, go away. It's kind of why I like rattlesnakes, because they rattle their tail. And it's very kind of them to give us a warning.
Jay, that's a great observation that they both have defenses. He's comparing this tarantula to a scorpion spider.
Oh, the camel spider? Well, remember the camel spider, like I said, they really don't want to do anything to you. They just really want to get in your shadow. So I will tell you guys, if you do come across one of those frightening looking things and it starts running at you, if you try to run away, it's probably going to keep running because it's trying to get into your shadow. Just hang out, let it kind of cool off, and it'll usually go on its own way.
Excellent. And thank you so much. You have a compliment here. You're a true scientist. That's why you appreciate all of their facts. Excellent. Thank you so much, Explorer Krysan. You are fantastic. On our learning activities, you will see a space where you get to label the different parts of what we learned today. And so we are going to get ready to close out. Let's go ahead and ask any last minute questions that you have for Explorer Krysan today, and I will shout those out to her. And then I want you to keep an eye out in the chat box. I'm going to put the web address for the Las Vegas Natural History Museum where you can go to find different learning activities that you can use while you are at home. And so on behalf of Explorer Krysan and I, we want to say thank you so much, parents, for stepping up and being there for your students as they're still learning at this time. If you're a teacher on right now, thank you so much for how you are supporting students right now. And if you are a student, thank you so much for continuing to learn. So I'm about to step out and go check on that chat box. Thank you guys so much. And I'll go ahead and put the link for our website on.
So what sort of questions do we still have, guys? This little girl right here is actually from the wild. She is a rescue because she was in someone's garage. So when you relocate a tarantula, sometimes they don't have a wonderful time finding food. So she was brought here, and that's where she gets all of her food now, all of her tasty little cricket smoothies. She loves them. But she was literally just picked right up in that garage. So like I said, she is handleable. She's not really going to bite you, but I always suggest that we do not pick up our wild friends. Do we have any other questions?
How long have you been a scientist?
Oh, let's see. I have been working here at the museum for almost 8 years now. Prior to that, I was doing archaeology with the Forest Service, but I've always loved science and I've always loved animals. So I have probably started being interested in this stuff probably around the same age that you guys are right now.
And here is a battle question, okay? If the gecko and the tarantula were in the same environment, would they try to fight each other? And who would win?
So there would be a potential that maybe the leopard gecko would try to eat the tarantula when they're still tiny, because remember, they eat insects and bugs and a whole bunch of small critters, right? But this is not a full-grown tarantula. When these tarantulas get bigger, her legs will actually come out more here, her body will be thicker. So at that point, I don't know that they would try to fight each other because that might be too big for the leopard gecko. The leopard gecko is definitely too big for the desert tarantula to try to eat her. So they might just go along their lives ignoring each other. It's a wonderful question, though.
Love it. And another question is, how many legs does a tarantula have?
So tarantulas have 8 legs, but they also have 2 pedipalps right at the top by their fangs. The pedipalps are kind of like hands. They're not actually used for walking. The other 8 legs are used for walking.
Cool. And we have a question about losing their tail because it stores fat. Is there a relationship between losing its tail and being able to store that fat?
Not really. So when a lizard drops its tail, it doesn't tend to drop the whole thing. It tends to drop enough of it just so the predator thinks that it's got something and it can run away.
Excellent. If the tarantula loses a fang, will the fang grow back?
Yes. Pretty much anything that they lose they will regrow when they shed, when they molt.
And how long does it take for a fang to grow back?
So when these guys molt, they molt maybe once or twice a year. It's a very long time between molting once they're adults. So some of these regrowths can take several years to get back to full size.
Excellent. And then, what is one of your favorite animals in the museum? If you had to choose just one.
Can I choose two?
Okay, we'll give you an exception. You can choose two.
So one of my favorite animals in the museum is a rat that we have here because I absolutely adore rats. They're very smart and very social. And another animal that I absolutely love here is the frogfish, which is a marine animal related to anglerfish. I love them because they have a weird adaptation of, instead of having fins that swim like other fish, their fins look a lot like feet and they kind of walk. So those are two animals in this museum I absolutely love. I will talk about them for hours.
Excellent. And how does the gecko keep moving if its tail falls off?
So the tail isn't really there for, you know, with fish, they'll use their tail as kind of a rudder to move, right? But she still has legs. She doesn't really use her tail for the rudder. And really, she even barely uses it for balance. So she'll still walk around just fine. As you can see, she's just climbing all over the place right now.
How many eyes does a tarantula have?
Thank you for asking that, because I did forget to mention it earlier. Desert tarantulas have 8 eyes, and they are all kind of clumped together right in front of their fangs, right on top of their cephalothorax.
Excellent. Well
And of
done.
course, my leopard gecko here only has the 2 eyes. And I have 4. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for learning about the animals today. I hope to see you again next week. Was there anything else that we wanted to say, Explorer Grace?
Yes, I just wanted to give you guys a reminder that this time next Monday at 10 a.m., we are going to bring out some more critters for another live Critter Connection with Explorer Krysan. So join us here. Thank you guys for coming. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.